depending on which model I'm on,
and we all, ladies, we know 2 inches makes a big difference in a man's world. Let's face facts. So it's always they're not as big as what everybody thinks, are they? I mean, they're heavy, but they're not big.
No.
This coming from 2 giants.
Look, I used to say it was a girl's bike, but I rode that 131.
Geez, I wish I had a black street line. Jeez, I've got socks with more variety.
Credit to you, the way you put it together is really, really good.
Thank you.
I'm not blowing smoke up your bum. And Elaine will agree with me. We both watch. G'day and welcome to Hogs, Cogs and 2 Aussie Flogs, the greatest podcast coming out of my garage. Studio, I know, I always say studio. It's a very manly cup you have there, mate.
What? It's nice. What do you mean? It's 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning, mate. I can't be having...
Very manly.
Oh, sorry, it's 8 p.m. at night.
Very manly, that's all I'm saying. Well, so, what's on the show this week?
Mate, we have got plenty. We've actually got a special guest this week, but before we do, let me put my peepers on, mate.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so we have the special guest that I told you about, and we'll introduce him shortly. We also have, there's a grumble. Why are you always so miserable?
Who says my grumble?
Hold on.
Oh, it's my grumble.
No, it's your grumble.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We've got a great product review, another ride route, which is actually in my backyard this time, so awesome. It'll be interesting. A really cool biker venue to visit, and that's about it, mate. We'll have the rallies, runs and events, and should be fine.
Great stuff. What about the competition? We got any further?
We haven't got any. We got one further entry, right. So we're gonna draw that next episode 100%.
Okay.
So entries have closed now.
Yep.
All right, because that'll be it.
Yep.
And then we got the rallies, runs, events. I forgot the. Hogs, Cogs and 2 Aussie chicks are going to be with us again.
Yes, they are. They will be.
The girls are coming.
They'll take over as usual. Rightio, so our guest this week is another YouTuber. You've got a great channel which is absolutely exploding at the moment. It's gone...
A rising star of the YouTube.
A multimedia megastar, some might say. No, I'm the only multimedia megastar here.
Of course.
But we'd like to introduce you to the...
healthiest YouTuber on the planet.
The healthiest YouTuber on the planet. He's not old.
He's not dead.
Well, that would be old, not dead. We'd like to introduce you to Aymen, the star of the Old Not Dead. Rightio, Aymen, welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. How are you going?
Very well. How are you going?
I'm fantastic.
You're looking fit and well as normal?
Trying to be fit and healthy, yeah.
Now, Aymen, we've got you in here. How did this whole YouTube thing start for you, and what was the premise of getting started? And I watch your show religiously and love what's coming out. But you're sort of based, a bit on it's motorcycling and a bit of self-help and all sorts of stuff. So what's going on?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Oh, I think it's mindfulness for the thinking man's biker.
Well, I've always been into those things, and I think during the lockdowns and that, I was watching $1 Million Bogan. I had watched him since he was a real estate agent.
Okay.
For other purposes, and I thought, gee, what a great job this guy's got, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun. Little did I know that there's going to be hours and hours of editing and how much work was going to be in it. And I thought I'll give that a try, and I made a few videos for Facebook and with a bit of music and that, and thought, I could give this a go, and here I am.
So the whole. Fitness thing, and what's your background? Have you been into fitness your whole life? I know you told me stories about cycling in Egypt and on a crappy push bike and uphill all the way. So what's the history there?
I've been exercising since I was a teenager. I do love it, and as I get older, I've gotten more and more into health. So I've always gone to gyms. I've always run.
I can attest to that because I've known Aymen since, how old were we? I don't know, kids.
Yeah.
Youngish teenagers.
Yeah.
And they're very, very old now. So let's just say, that's a long time.
But not dead. Yeah, for those that don't know, Whitey used to live down the road.
Yep.
And I used to go to school with his wife. Yeah.
And, he was always the toughest bloke in the street and the fittest bloke in the street. And,
Not quite.
And all those little wimpy blokes were always terrified of the bastard.
So I guess how did you get into what transitioned you from loving exercise and all that sort of stuff into I know you've done some like public speaking and life coaching and all that sort of stuff. How did that transition? How did that happen?
I had a job, and when I left,
hang on a minute.
I thought it was a tragic thing in the 90s.
Tried that, I didn't like it.
And when I left, I started a business that used to have like a training product.
Yep.
And I found that the people who were buying that training product liked the product but didn't know how to use it.
Yep.
So I transitioned into coaching them on how to use it, and that I sort of discovered that a lot of people in small businesses, you can learn all sorts of things. There are some brilliant people to help you, but it's your personal problems that you have to overcome that stop your growth.
Yep.
So I used to help them in that regard, and because I have a background in exercise and learning the way that your mind works, and it all just sort of fit into place and developed from there.
So have you actually done like formal training with that, or you just?
I've done a lot of different courses, but I mean, what's the position called? I used to just help people. I'd call myself a life coach because I saw it on TV once and thought, that's a way to explain what I do. But now everyone's a life coach.
Yep.
So
And how did you get the motorcycles? Where did that all start?
I've been riding since I was a teenager. My cousins had dirt bikes. They taught me how to ride. I had, even before I was licensed, I bought a motor scooter off a guy at school.
Yep.
I actually traded in for some running spikes. And I had this motor scooter with no brakes, and we lived out in the edge of the suburbs.
We should have kept the spikes, mate.
Because that's what you needed. We used to ride it down the street, and when you wanted to stop, you'd roll it into a paddock and jump off,
Right,
that sort of thing. And then, of course, as soon as I turned 17 and whatever, got myself a licence or a learner's permit. The old RD 250 two-stroke, flying around everywhere, and it just developed from there. Saw Mad Max and Stone, and got myself a Z1000 as soon as I could.
I bet you wish you still had that Z1000.
Oh yeah,
mate.
that'd be fantastic.
They're worth a ton of money. I'll kill for a Z1000.
So
beautiful.
It's just developed from there. So I've been riding ever since. I absolutely love it.
And first Harley?
First Harley in about 91. Because I saw the Terminator, or it was a Terminator 2, I think, with Arnold, and thought, that's a cool bike. And I've scrapped the Zs and jumped across to a Harley and thought, oh my God, this doesn't go. What's
what
going on here? So then the modifications start and off you go.
Have you stuck with Harleys all the way through since then, or you've changed back, or just...
I have had periods where I've gone, I'd like to go around the twisties all day long, so I've bought other bikes, usually Kawasaki's. I had a Thruxton R once, which is a Triumph, which is a sensational bike with a little bikini fairing, an old-fashioned one. But again, I loved it, but it was too small, and often have to ride for an hour along the freeway to find some twisties, and I think, I'm so cramped up on this now. And I always end up back on Harleys.
Because you are a big unit. What are you, 6'4"? 6'4". So how have you gone fitting on Harleys? Because Harleys are traditionally, everybody says Harleys are a big bike, but traditionally they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not that big a bike. No. They're actually quite cramped.
Yeah.
So how have you gone?
Every single Harley I've had, sometimes I have a solo seat and I sit right back on the rim.
Yep.
But usually I would get a different seat that pushes me back 2 inches. Depending on which model I'm on,
and ladies, we know 2 inches makes a big difference in a man's world. Let's face facts. So,
are you allowed to say that on here?
Oh, we're allowed to say anything.
You can say anything.
Say whatever we
like.
But it's always they're not as big as what everybody thinks, are they? I mean, they're heavy, but they're not big.
No.
This coming from two giants.
But once you start, you've got to be careful because the lean angle's already not that great. Yep. So once you start playing with, manipulating the floorboards and that, you lose a bit. So on the street glide I've got now, all I've done is push the seat back and extended the levers, and I've left the floorboards where they are.
Yep.
Seems to be fine. I don't mind the low handlebars. I'll probably change them one day, but they're okay. So
So what's been your favourite one so far?
favourite Harley?
Yep.
I think the one I've got now.
The Street Glide?
Yeah, the Street Glide, yeah. So I used to love fat boys, but I just love, like you can ride hard when you haven't got that wind pushing you back all the time, like a sail, you know?
Yep.
So the fairing on the Street Glide is fantastic. The 114 with a cam and an aftermarket tune is great. And
How do you find the batwing fairing as compared to that other thing? What do they call those shark?
Man's bike.
Those girls'
That's
bikes.
the one you're looking for, the man's bike.
So is it true?
Fair dinkum.
Is it true that a road glide is actually a girl's bike? Because you actually did a whole video on it. didn't you?
Actually,
yeah, look, I used to say it was a girl's bike, but I rode that 131
Jeez, I
road
wish
glide.
I had a black Street Glide. Jeez, I've got socks with more variety.
No, look, the road glide is a fantastic bike. There's no question about it. And I don't find that much of a difference. I don't think that the Street Glide fairing is heavy at all. Doesn't worry me. My main gripe with the road glide is only that everything is a long way away. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, it's fine, you know. So
it's full disclosure here. I was actually trying to buy a road glide at the time that I bought my Street Glide because I was, but I just couldn't get one at the time because
I got it first.
Because we were going through COVID and I just. I didn't want a pussy red colour.
Well, interestingly enough, when I bought my Street Glide, I would have taken either a Road King Special or a Road Glide or a Street Glide, but I wanted a nearly new second-hand bike, and that's all I could find at the time.
Yeah, I was in the same.
Yeah,
The same
and I'm very happy with
There's a
it.
difference though. Like you say, you love your Street Glide, say even more than the Fat Boys.
Yep.
I've got a Fat Boy and a Road Glide.
Yep.
And if I had to pick between the two, as much as I love my Road Glide, I think I'd take my Fat Boy.
I actually said this to you. I actually said it to Whitey.
I love my Fat Boy.
I followed Whitey's somewhere.
We were coming back from Bayswater.
That's right, yeah. And I actually said to him, I said, you know, I'm just watching you. I said, you like your Road Glide, but you love that Fat Boy, don't you? He goes, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I mean, for me, I've got that emotional connection with that bike. It's my first Harley. It's the one I've always wanted, and it ain't going nowhere.
Well, you're blessed that you've got two bikes. Like,
Well, I'm blessed because I've got one good wife.
no, Fat Boys are fantastic. I've had heaps of them, and I love them too. But I don't find, a lot of people think that the touring bikes are heavy. I don't find it that heavy. And when I jump back on a Fat Boy,
again,
it feels...
we're talking here to Hagrid and Gulliver, two freaking giants. I tell you, as a normal sized human being, I do find the Road Glide, especially two up, it doesn't help that I've got a dodgy hip. I think that's the biggest problem, is because your left foot's the one that's always down and I've got a dodgy left hip. That's not helping. So we'll be fixing that very soon. But they're a heavy bike.
I find
they're not for a midget to ride.
They are, the only time I find them heavy, as in you feel a bit dodgy, is when you're on gravel. When you're on gravel, they are a handful. Yeah. Even slow speed doesn't bother me really. It's just gravel, and especially that small gravel where it's loose, where your boots don't actually grip and you just feel yourself slipping. Then they can be a bit. A bit
Paul
of a
has a
handful.
defence for that. Paul has a defence. He just grabs the lane and throws her under the bike.
That's right. You'll see that in upcoming videos.
Video.
But yeah, so I find the same thing. I think once they're up and riding, they are just fantastic. Like I said, we just did the tour of Tassie and up around Brighton and all the stuff, and like I love throwing that thing through corners. It's just beautiful to ride. And I know the Road Glide's just the same. They are a fantastic bike. But getting back to your channel and all, you're happy with the way it's going. It's
a steep learning curve, it's an enormous amount of work, which surprised me. I thought it'd be a lot easier.
Yep.
But I'm loving it. You know?
So what do you like about it? What's the main thing you like about it?
Well, I'm trying to turn it into a mini business. So I think to myself, well, if you can earn money doing something you love, it's better than going and getting a job. No one would hire me anyway, but I see it as a lot of fun, because you're out meeting people. It forces you to go to events when you can be lazy, you know, because it's pretty easy to go, I can't be bothered today. So you think, I've got to film something. So you go to these fantastic events. You're always talking to nice people. People are, it's a weird feeling. People sort of approach me and say, I've seen your channel. And so, there you go. You meet someone new and they're always nice. And it's great, you know. So I'm having a lot of fun.
Whitey, you got a question? I thought you had something.
No, I was just going to say, to me, that's the best thing about the YouTube channel is the people you meet.
Yeah.
But the other thing is it makes you think about where you're going to go riding.
Yeah.
So you don't just, I'm going for a ride today. Once you get into this YouTube thing, you sort of, if you're going to go for a ride and going to do some vlogging, you sort of do a bit more. And I push this one off to the tailgater mate because she's great at organising places to go, and then I'll organise the route we go to get there. All right, so you actually end up seeing so much more of the country because you're actually looking for something that other people are going to find interesting as well. So, you know, like with our channel, I think one of my favourite ones are when we go and we do these smaller videos which are on travel, and we go find places like Gurrum Falls or, you know, the Castlemaine 4X Antique Centre or places like that. You know, there's so many places out there in Australia to see, and the one thing I found touring Tassie the other day was you've got to allow that time for those places that you're not expecting to, you know, you're not expecting. You're riding along, I mean, like, as I said in the last episode, we're riding along and I just saw a thing that said cafe, and next minute we're at Lake Tulla. And I would never have stopped at Lake Tulla. I've never heard of it, never thought of it. It was just on the spur of the moment you see it, and then bang, an hour's gone.
Yep.
And that's what I like about doing the YouTubing, and the people that you meet, you know, you know, for us is outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's great. And not only that, it's you don't realise the impact you're actually having on people out there. Like you're just going out there just having fun. But so many people come up to you and say, "Oh, you know, you've inspired me to get it on the road. You've inspired me to, you know, my wife and now go together because we watch you guys go together."
Yeah.
You know,
Inspired you to get up
off the couch.
That's the one.
No, you're spot on, because I did that push-ups video, and the number of comments I get about, I can do 10 or I can do 50 now or whatever.
Yep.
So
that was
good,
a cracking
you know?
video, Aymen. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically was why a Harley rider's dying. I think it was called something like that.
Yeah.
And it's all about, you know, some of us are a little bit unhealthy.
Yep.
All right. And it made me laugh, mate. You're out the front of Harley Heaven with bikers down on their hands. I'm thinking, you can only do that, Aymen, because you're bigger than me. Because if I walked up to him and said, "Hey, big fella, get down there and give me 20, I can just imagine what the result would be.
Well,
I'd be up the end. I'd be stuck up the end of me bloody Vance and Hines.
Well, what you don't see on that video is I found this fantastic guy. I think he was running the Hog barbecue at the front of Harley Heaven. And I was asking for people to do push-ups, and this guy comes along, and he was a legend. He could just churn out these push-ups.
Yeah.
So I'm filming him and talking to him and all this. And then I realised after he left and gone back to the stand, I realised the camera wasn't on. And then I didn't have the heart to go back and tell him, sorry, if you're watching this, I didn't have the heart to go back and say, you got to do all those push-ups again.
No.
You waited for him to watch the video and go, the bastard made me do all those videos and he's cut me out.
No.
So,
How much do you like it when that sort of thing happens?
it happens all the time.
You know, when the audio's not working, or you know, you're 10 minutes into it and you do a 30-minute video and then the bloody SD card shits itself or something. I hate it when that happens.
So do you feel in yourself that you that's the way you want to continue with the channel? Is you know, helping people, self-help, you know, along with, you know, look, let's face facts. A lot of us motorcyclists are overweight and probably not as healthy as what we probably should be.
But I can help you lose all that weight.
Yep. How do we go? Okay.
Go get him. We'll stick him, Aymen.
If you want.
Yeah, let's put your money where your mouth is. How are we going to go about this? Because I clearly need to lose a few kilos, quite a few kilos. I've done it before. And look, because again, my whole thing is get off the couch. I want to get off the couch in all ways, not just get off the couch and travel. I want to be able to get off the couch in other ways. And you know, since we had the accident last year, and it's been more of a challenge because I'm sore more days than I'm not, as well as Elaine. But you know, I just feel that I know I've spoken to you before about it, and I just think that your videos came along at a really good time for me because I thought, I really want to get into it. And I've done it before, and look, I've trained like an absolute maniac, and I've gone back to boxing, and I've restricted my diet to just protein and green vegetables pretty much. And look, you drop 50 kilos in 4 months, right? But the problem is it's not sustainable. It
is if you just manipulate that a little
so
bit.
That's the hard thing. It becomes, because food and all that sort of stuff, especially for me, is a very social thing as well. You're going out with people, and and these guys will attest.
He's very sociable.
We come here and it's open house, and I've got pizza ovens and all sorts of stuff, and we have it. We almost pride ourselves on entertaining people and making sure they're fed well and all sorts of stuff. So,
can I just interrupt for one moment?
Go for it.
Before you go any further with this, we don't want to get rid of the pizza rub. Because I don't know about you, but I actually like my massive food. So you just need to restrict one person on this table. Right? Thank you. Carry on.
So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't be just me in this situation. There'd be plenty of blokes out there.
There are.
And you know what happens? And I sort of relate it to, I've got a gardening and landscaping business, and you go to people's houses that they've called you because their gardening's out of control and they don't know how to start, right? So you get there and they've sort of thought, it's not too bad, it's a foot high, I'll wait till next week, and it's not too bad now, it's knee high, or shit, it's getting a bit hard to control. Oh my God, it's a metre high, what the hell do I do, right? So and it's the same sort of situation. You get to a point where you go, okay, I'm overweight, I don't feel my best. Where do I start? How do I start? And especially for somebody like me, I'm results driven in everything. So you want to see, impact. And
you want to see impact quickly?
Yeah, exactly. And I reckon most blokes out there would be the same. If you say to a guy, oh look, you're going to lose 300 grams a week for the next 6 weeks, we go, geez, really? But if you say,
but just let me hold you up a little bit.
Yep.
So why is it so important to have fast results when you've got such a long life and we're doing it for the long term? Because you will get results every day.
Yep.
But cumulatively, they will make a massive difference compared to the short term.
Yep.
So traditionally, what people do is they do it via discipline and diet. And, I've had periods in my life where I've just eaten everything so I could exercise for 3 hours.
Yep.
And then excess calories, I'll sit on a bike for another hour and chew them off.
Yep.
Sure, you'll get a six-pack.
Yep.
But what a horrible way to live, running around, can't eat this, can't do that.
Yep.
So I would come up with an easier way for you, which is not going to deprive you once you get used to it.
Okay, yep.
Okay? So you want me to go through it?
Yeah, let's go through it.
Is it going to hurt him at the start, though?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be very
fun to watch.
The first few weeks are going to be painful, right?
And look, guys, I'll actually vlog this as well. So it's not like I'm going to go away and everyone's going to...
that's a good idea.
I'll actually be accountable to you guys as well as myself and to Aymen and to everybody else. I'll actually vlog it. What I'm spewing on, I've just noticed there's about 4 other YouTubers doing the same frigging thing at this point in time.
Cool.
It's going to look like I've jumped on some sort of YouTube bandwagon, which I haven't. It was something that I always wanted to do, but I will vlog it, and I will, keep everybody up to date on what we're doing, and hopefully, if we can, we'll get some of our audience involved.
So put in the comments if you want Paul to commit to this. And make sure that on every episode that you guys are watching, make sure that you're asking Paul questions.
Yep.
So that he's really putting in an effort to keep you guys updated.
Yep.
Because that's going to help him a lot. We want him to live for a long time. And anyone else who feels that they're in a similar situation, join in.
100%.
Because if everybody's doing it together, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So whatever I tell you...
Yep.
There's some overriding rules. So let's say, for example, we're on a diet. Mm-hmm. If you're going out and entertaining, just scrap it.
Yep.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yep.
So the first thing I'm going to say to you is
What if I'm entertaining every day of the week?
Well, and this is the interesting thing about all of this type of lifestyle. You've got to look at, instead of looking at the short term, you've got to look at your overall life. So me personally, I eat in a certain way, and if you invite me around for a pizza, I'm having a pizza. I don't care.
Yep.
Okay, so it depends on how strict you want to do it, If you look at the larger picture,
Yep.
you'll see that you can make massive changes.
Okay.
The first thing is no processed anything.
Yep.
All right, so if it comes in a can or it comes in a packet.
So what about something like tuna?
Yeah, the exception is tuna,
Yep.
but only in water.
Okay, yep.
All right. Yep. So, and the reason is because you used to be able to buy lovely tuna in olive oil.
Yes.
But now they mix it with vegetable oil.
Yep.
And vegetable oil, processed vegetable oil, is poisonous.
Yep.
And that's one of the main reasons that you want to stay away from processed food.
Okay.
So buy tuna in water, pour olive oil all over it.
Yep.
Lots of salt.
Yep.
Not processed salt. Buy some nice pink salt.
Yep.
And the tuna will be very nice to eat.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep,
So
cool.
that's pretty much the only thing, right?
Yep.
So get rid of processed foods. It will make your gut health improve.
Yep.
And that will carry on to a lot of health benefits, right? Second thing is cut out not all, but most of your carbohydrates.
Yep.
So no rice, no potatoes, no pasta at all.
Yep.
No bread.
Yep.
I've just starved to death.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you how you don't starve, all right? So cut all those out,
Yep.
because what's going to happen is most of us, if we're eating carbs, unless you're going for 20k runs and walking to Sydney next week, it's going to have too much energy.
Yep.
And that excess energy just gets pushed into your fat cells. And
Yep.
the reason that happens is you have too much sugar, which is carbohydrate.
Yep.
You're going to get an insulin spike,
Mm-hmm.
and insulin will push the fat into your cells.
Yep.
Right? So you really want to minimize that.
Yep.
But in return, you're going to have to eat a decent amount of protein. I'll help you work out how much
Yep.
later on. Decent amount of protein for your body weight.
Yep.
And then you will have to make up the calories in fat.
Yep.
So you've got to eat saturated fat. Now, this is the problem. So, because a lot of doctors and health experts are going to say, well, that's a recipe for a heart attack and all that.
Yep.
There is a lot of thinking that says, well, you can have as much saturated fat as you like as long as you don't eat sugar with it or carbohydrate.
Okay, yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
So you're still going to have to work out roughly how many calories you need to eat.
Yep.
Which we can do. And I think, like I said in my last video, there are millions of free apps. Just use MyFitnessPal. You can
Yep.
scan
I've
food.
actually
if
got
you-
that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
So you work out how many calories you need, and then you just go a little bit under. Don't go too much, because go for 300 calories, 400 calories a day under what you need.
Yep.
We'll adjust it as we go, because if you go too low, all that's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're starving, and it's going to be an effort, and you're just going to bounce back, and you're going to cave in eventually, whether
Yep.
it's a week or a year, doesn't matter. You're going to cave in because you've got no nutrition. So just do it gradually.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you're cutting down on your sugar and carbohydrate, you're going to have cravings, because we're all addicts. So the way I got over it was, you go to the supermarket, there's a drink called Nexpa, which is a diet drink, but it's got a natural sweetener. Comes in all sorts of stupid flavours. Just buy a couple of crates of that, stick them in the corner. Every
Yep.
time you think, I want to eat something sweet,
Yep.
scull a bottle of that.
Yep.
And took me about 3 weeks, and then you wean yourself off sugars and carbohydrates.
Yep.
But you have to replace the calories with something else. We'll get into more detail about it.
What about drinks like Coke Zero and things like that?
Well, if you have to, they're not healthy. But
Yep.
See, a lot of people try and do everything at once. Just gradually change what you're doing. So
Yep.
if you like Coke, certainly don't have Coke.
Yep.
Because of the sugar.
Yep.
Yeah, you can drink Coke Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not healthy, but
Yep.
it's better than Coke with sugar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
What
better.
about
Beer
orange,
is carbohydrate.
orange juice?
Orange juice is just sugar, so
Yep.
no orange juice.
Yep.
Water.
Yep. 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 Cool.
It's pretty easy once you get the hang. Where most people, so some people would call this, but you'd be surprised, right? Some people would call this a keto diet.
Yep.
So you're keeping your carbohydrates under an amount. Where people go wrong is they reduce their calories. And you can't just reduce your calories to nothing. If you cut out all these carbs and you're missing out on these calories, and you just have this little piece of chicken, you're going to starve and you're going to die soon.
Yep.
So you'll start eating.
Yep.
So you need to replace the calories with something else. I replace it with fat.
Yep.
And
So when you say fat, what are we talking? What like?
well, let's. you got to work out your calories at the start, right?
Yep,
But let's say if I'm having a can of tuna with water, I put heaps of salt on it,
Yep.
and I put stacks of olive oil,
Yep.
like absolute swimming in it.
Yep.
Right, now that can be a meal.
Yep.
If I'm still hungry, I might add some cashews and some pumpkin seeds to it,
Yep.
and some cheese. You know,
Yep.
you it's not an instant fix unless you want to be very strict with counting your calories.
Yep.
But the principle is get your calories from fat
Yep.
instead of carbohydrates.
And
you won't be hungry.
Portion
and
sizes?
portion sizes are going to be relevant to what you work out calorie wise.
Okay, yep. Okay.
So don't forget, you're a big guy.
Yep.
So you can't just go from whatever, I don't know how much you eat now, but you can't just go,
Yep.
it's got to be in proportion. Your stomach will shrink.
Yep.
And you won't feel hungry if you're eating fat.
Okay.
That's the biggest mistake people make.
And what about exercise?
I would just go for a walk.
Yep.
So try and, again, it's all relative to what you know. So if you can go for a half an hour walk, try and do that in the morning.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Don't do weight stuff like squats and...
If you want, but...
I'm talking body weight squats, not weights squats.
Yeah, any exercise you do is
better
going to be better than nothing.
Yep.
But just be mindful. You can't go from zero to hero. Like I see it all the time. People go, right, I haven't exercised in 10 years. I'm going to exercise.
I'm going to do a marathon.
Yeah, straight into a marathon, straight into a boxing gym, which is bloody hard work, right? And they don't compensate for that by eating more calories and getting more nutrition. So at the end of the first 3 weeks, they'll be devastated and they'll give up because they think it's too hard. It's not too hard. You just haven't adjusted your diet and your lifestyle for doing that. So you can do whatever you like, but just walk.
Yep. So how long do you think that will take to get to...
Well, if you stop eating processed foods and dramatically reduce your carbohydrates, I bet you're going to lose, because your body, when you're eating carbohydrates and you've got a decent amount of body fat, you're going to carry all this water. So initially you're going to lose a stack of weight, like stacks maybe, 5-10 kilos, and you're going to think you've been doing a good job, but it's just water. All right, and then after that, a healthy amount of weight to lose is probably, like, it depends, maybe half a kilo a week. You wouldn't want to go too much further than that, because you've got to remember you want to retain the muscle that you've got. Your muscle is your metabolism. So people say, "Oh, I don't want to, build muscle." Well, muscle is what's chewing your calories and keeping you going and supporting your skeleton. That's what you want to retain. If you cut too many calories and you don't eat your protein, you're going to lose weight, but a lot of it's going to be muscle. And then you're going to have a slower metabolism when you come out the other end, which is what you don't want to do.
Okay. So
low carbs, no processed food.
So using that rationale, though, you'd be better off doing rather than cardio work. You'd be better off doing some sort
walking.
of
Well, walking's going to burn fat. So don't forget, like, I don't know how much you weigh, but it's going to be more than me. Both of us, when we go for a walk, we're chewing a lot of calories. We're carrying a lot of weight around. Doesn't matter what the structure is. So that is a good exercise.
Guys, can I just talk about weight? So in my job, like we have 20 kilo bags of cement, right? Go outside or go to a hardware shop, pick up 20 kilos of cement, right? And just have a look how much 20 kilos weigh. 20 kilos is a lot. If you take 20 kilos off your body, and I've done it before, all of a sudden everything else feels better. Your back feels better, your hips feel better, your knees feel better, everything feels better. So if you ever want to know, is it worthwhile dropping some weight, go to Bunnings, even pick up a 10 kilo bag or something. And it does make a huge difference. And that's why, if you look at it in mechanical terms, if you've got a 1 ton ute, and you're carrying 2 tons all the time on the ute, that ute is not going to last as long.
It's a massive strain,
right? It's a strain on your body. And that's why, I need to get fit. I want to do, with my channel, we want to do more travelling and more, not extreme, but more adventure sort of stuff. And, and you need to be fit to be able to do it.
Your bike's going to be faster too.
Yes, and the fuel economy. Hey, that's the other thing.
Fuel economy.
That fuel at $2.50 a litre, whatever it is at the moment. It's a good idea to drop some kilos. So look, I'm happy to sign up with it. Let's not sign up with it. Let's get it happening.
Well, let's make it a commitment.
Yep.
Let's put this on the dotted line, my friend.
Yes.
All right. How much are we going to get off this fella?
It depends on how much effort he puts in.
Well,
But why don't you, if you're okay with it, why don't you put like a little meter on every episode, how many kilos you are, and see if it goes down.
Yeah, let's do it. First thing I'll do is buy a set of scales. I've got to set of scales. That'll be the first thing I've got to do. Look, I know with anything, when I commit to something, and Elon will attest to this, by hook or by crook, it's getting done, right?
Yeah, so, I know you're going to do it.
But I'm happy to put up meters and whatever. I'll happily tell you what I've dropped and how many sizes I've dropped and what sort of stuff. I'm happy to do it.
Sizes, belt size, and that would probably be a better indicator because what a lot of people don't realise is you want to retain muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat.
Yep.
So I see this more in women, but you exercise, you're going to put on muscle, you might increase your body weight. So body weight doesn't matter; it's belt size.
And for the girls out there, similar sort of idea?
Yeah, it's a similar thing. Yep. We all work in a similar way. So it's just processed food, drop your carbs, and you're maybe 70-80% of the way there. So
all right, let's give it a crack.
All right, so how long are we going to... I tell you what, I reckon we've got to get Aymen back.
Yeah, for sure.
And give us... and we can do some running updates every 4 or 5 episodes.
Episodes, yeah.
And, yeah...
Let's see where we're at in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That'll give you a fair indication of what's happening. And the other thing is too, my advice, this is the way I work, set yourself short-term goals. Because if you look at it, I'm doing this over the next 2 years. 2 years is a long way away. But if you do it, okay, let's try and achieve a goal in a month. Let's try and achieve a goal in 6 weeks or whatever. That's mentally, it's almost a mind trick. It's easier to achieve than.
Well, speaking of the mental side of it,
Yep.
there is another component, and that is a lot of people eat for emotional comfort.
Yep.
So that's something you've got to be mindful of.
Yep.
So when you go to the fridge or when you think you're hungry, try having a glass of water first.
Yep.
And see if that makes a difference. Because a lot of people will just eat for emotion.
Yep.
Or boredom.
Yeah, probably
which is an emotion.
For me, it's probably boredom.
You got a really active mind,
yeah.
so you need to keep it stimulated, and you don't want to do it via food.
Yeah, that's my other problem. Is my brain is ticking all the time, like all the time. But look, anyway, that's me done. That's great. Let's have it. What's happening with your channel going forward?
I'm looking it up as I go along.
Guys, if you haven't seen Aymen's channel, the last couple of videos have been absolutely sensational, and they've blown up, and he's done really, really well. If you haven't seen his channel, obviously have check it out, but think along the lines of a bit like I don't know if you watch Professional Monkey, but it's not really Professional Monkey. It's a really good combination of. Like I said,
Richard Simmons and Professional Monkey.
Yeah, but it's a really good combination.
I've heard that for a while.
of great motorbike content, of really good ideas and self help. And I just think and just the way credit to you, the way you put it together is really. Really good.
Thank you.
I'm not blowing smoke up your bum. And Elaine will agree with me. We both watch it, and I know we talk about you quite often. Say, gee, that was a really good video.
Actually, you just said, the prick's gone past me in bloody followers. But anyway, apart from that, no. But look, the thing I like about it, mate, is that you get people to think about and ask those questions of themselves. And I think that's what works because it's like with the one with the push-ups and all that. It was like, there'd be a lot of bike riders and a lot of big fat Harley riders that would say, "Yeah, all right, he's right. I need to pull my finger out." So
well, what a lot of people don't realise is that everybody tries to do everything on discipline and hard work. If you get healthy, push-ups are easier. It's that simple. And the less healthy you are, the more you are inclined to not get off the couch and do something.
So how much training would you do a week?
I exercise every day, but there are mornings like this morning when I had to go to Whitey's house, no time, so I call a non-exercise day. I might do 3 sets of push-ups and some ab work or something. Very quickly, just to get out of the way. And
so what is it? What is the exercise? How much time would you spend per day on your exercise?
As little as possible. Because you try and become as efficient as you can.
Yep.
So I've got a chin-up bar on the back balcony now, and a few basic weights. I stopped going to the gym, and I try and do a lot of walking and a lot of bodyweight exercises and just some basic weights. You don't need a lot.
Yep.
And there are periods in my life where I think, oh no, I want to do. Like a while back I was saying, well, I want to get as strong as I was in my 20s.
Yep.
So you go to the gym and, you're trying for the 200 kilo deadlift and the 150 kilo bench press and and that might take me a year to get back to that, and then, okay, well, there's another goal. So, probably when I hit 60 or something, I might give that another try, see if I can get as strong as I was in my 20s. So it just changes all the time. I've been exercising.
I'm slowly starting to dislike him, quite frankly.
No, but you know what it's like. Somebody once, I heard somebody say, I can't think who it was now, but their thing was, you want to be fit for when you're 80, because when you're 30, you can do anything when you're 30, right? But what you don't want to be is one of those blokes you see and this is what got me. You don't want to see these blokes that you see that are 65, 70 at the supermarket, and they've got a Zimmer frame, and they're stooped over, and they've got a shit life. Yeah. Mate, I've got too much that I want to do still, which is the main reason why I want to do it. I want to be able to do stuff without thinking, that's going to hurt.
And you want to be able to ride your motorbike.
That's exactly right. And I don't want to be like Whitey and have to get a trike.
He's so cruel. There will be no trike in this man's life. But I tell you what we're talking about is keeping healthy. So, and I can tell you, mate, I've been at the really unhealthy stage when I went through all my treatment and that, and you know what, you did a long time, and it's when you get to that point, you suddenly have that realisation that, you know what, I actually do have to look after myself.
Yeah.
I joke a lot about how physical exercise isn't really in my vocabulary, but it is. We do a lot of walking, we do a lot of riding, we do a lot of physical stuff, and the reason being is because if when you're not healthy and when you do have issues, you realise the things you're missing out on.
Yeah.
And if you get yourself to that stage in life where you're beyond repair. And well, you're just in God's waiting room, aren't you? Really, I mean, there's so much shit to do. Why would you limit yourself?
Yep.
So this is to our viewers that are sitting there and thinking, yeah, that might be me. Yep. Well, the time to make the change is now. All right. So get yourself a little bit more healthy. You only need to be a little bit more healthy every day. You don't have to go from bloody Fat Albert to bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger in a week.
Yeah, you want to be fit for life is the way I look at it. And I think, look, I'm lucky I don't have any cholesterol, I don't have any diabetes symptoms, I don't have any of that sort of stuff. So I'm very lucky in that way. But what I want to do is I don't want to get those things by not looking after myself. And that's the, and I think you owe it to your family as well to make sure you're around to look after them and all that sort of stuff. So that's my key motivation to
what a lot of people neglect is their mental health, and I think most people are aware of the concept of looking internally and watching what their self-talk is, and that is something that has a huge impact on your health as well. If you're positive in your self-talk, that was sort of like having your own motivator there, encouraging you to do more positive things in your life. Yep. Instead of that negative voice saying, "Oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that."
And it's funny you say that. Like, I've noticed. Look, I sometimes suffer for a bit of anxiety, and I notice. And I never had it my whole life. It was only once my mother passed away. All of a sudden, I developed this anxiety thing. But I've noticed that because I'm not as fit as I should be, the anxiety starts to kick in because you start to think. as we all know, we got all, when you used to get off the couch, everything was fine. Then you go, oh, what's that hurt when you get up? So all those things start to creep in. So, and we all start making those old man noises, when you get up, when you get up, rather than just getting up. Yeah. So, and it's for that as well. It's to, and we all know Danny talks about it.
Check up from the neck up.
Yeah, but it's not only that. But if you're fit and healthy, that's one less thing your mind's worrying about.
Absolutely.
And that's, I guess, where I'm coming from as well. So it's not just a physical thing; it's a mental thing for me. I need to get better in all aspects, which again will.
But a lot of people who need to get healthy are self-critical. Whereas you can change the way you think about yourself and start looking at the positive side. So if you're overweight, instead of saying, this, I am whatever, and giving yourself a negative, just reverse it and say, wow, I'm improving every day.
Yep.
Because that self-talk makes a massive difference, because you're basically talking yourself into a situation.
Yep.
And you probably don't realise it, because most people can't monitor or don't put the time into monitoring what they're thinking all the time.
Yep.
So,
100%. Well, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Could we? Well, do you reckon you should sort of make him get down and do about 100 push-ups about that? No? Oh, just an idea.
Well, I think if he does 3 months of walking, is going to make a big difference if he starts to change what he eats.
Yep. Yep.
And it's that simple. And then as you lose weight, it's going to be easier to do things like push-ups anyway. So,
Yep. Yep. No, all good. The only thing I've got to be careful of with what I'm doing is I've still got a torn rotator cuff, which I've got to freaking. It just takes time to get.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be doing push-ups,
because you're screwed. But anyway, I'll find things. I'm not. I've played a lot of sport, and I've been. Funnily enough, I've actually been super fit at one point in my life, so I do know what it takes to get there. So I'm not.
And you're going to find that a lot of those old man creaks are going to go, because a lot of them are caused by carbohydrate and sugar.
Yep.
And it creates inflammation in your body.
Yep.
And you watch, if you start, you're going to wake up and go, oh, I want to exercise once you get rid of them.
Yep, 100%. Well, that's been fantastic. So what do we got next on the agenda? Now we've got me, fit and healthy, and everybody else.
Aymen, you going to hang around for the rest of the show?
Sure.
Beautiful world. All right.
Have we got a grumble?
Yeah, well.
What are you going to grumble about, Whitey? Come on.
For the millions at home and the 2 people in the audience, ladies and gentlemen,
let's get ready to grumble. I've got a grumble.
He's got a grumble,
and I reckon Aymen might be able to freaking come in with this as well. Going back on the overweight and oversized things, men's motorcycle players, and probably women's as well. Why on earth, when you look at the amount of blokes riding motorbikes out there, you go to these motorbike shops and the biggest size they got is 2XL. Now I reckon you're probably bigger than a 2XL in some things, because some things are Chinese made. And you look at the average Harley rider, they're generally bigger than a 2XL. Why aren't they stocking, for Christ's sake, 4XL? I find some of the independents do. You can obviously, because I've got t-shirts and stuff, but I just think there's so many bigger blokes out there and we get asked a lot, where do you get your leather jackets from? Where do you get your jeans from? And all sorts of stuff. And there's few, but so many. And if they are a 4XL, they're like a really small 4XL. They're probably lucky to be a 2XL. I just think it's a massive niche in the market that people could be cashing in on. You go into a store and they've got plenty of smalls. Well, there's not been too many blokes that are small. I would be going at least the other way and chucking in a 3XL and a 4XL. And I know you asked me when you did your t-shirts, what size do you go up to? I can tell you, I'm always sold out of my 4XLs, 5XLs before I'm sold out of my smalls and mediums. Every single time.
Well, it's interesting there, because I'm only selling large, extra large, double extra large.
Yep. So
early days.
Yeah, early days. But I think you'll find, and it'll depend on your audience and that sort of stuff. But I just know that there needs to be, just at least okay, don't have a full range, but at least have something for blokes to try on and try. And I come from the rag trade in menswear, and we always stocked bigger sizes, and we actually were known as the guys to go to get the bigger size stuff, and we were busy all the time with big blokes coming in. And we were in the wedding industry, so you'd have a wedding party of 4 blokes, and one guy was a Poindexter with big as your pinky, and the other bloke was like you say, Hagrid, and you had to be able to get them all to match. And there was very few people that were doing it, and that was our biggest thing. There was so many guys coming in that could depend on us to fit them, and I just think they should be doing the same thing in motorbike clothes, especially leather jackets and stuff like that, because it's just.
Well, pretty much all the clothes I buy, I have to get altered.
Well, there you go.
So if I buy a motorcycle jacket that fits across the shoulders, it'll be way too big
in the waist
at the bottom, so I've got to take it somewhere, or I usually have to get them tailor-made.
Yep.
It's only been since I stopped doing heavy weights at the gym that I can even wear jeans without, because usually the thighs are too big and waist is too small.
Oh, what a horrible problem to have.
No, but it is an issue, and I think even in women's clothes, and it's something else we're going to cover down the track with pricing. But women's clothes, you'll have there's lots of especially busty ladies and stuff out there. They just can't get stuff to fit them, and that's probably another reason why they're not getting off on the motorbike.
I don't suppose my solution to that would work. Just don't wear them.
But even you go to places like Harley Heaven, and it's hard to find a good range of clothing for. And
we're just odd shapes.
Yeah, but
that's our problem.
But I think the population overall is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, you look at the States, like you can go to the States, and it's like you got massive amounts of clothing for bigger guys, right?
But even
again, we haven't caught up here in Australia.
Even height-wise, when I was growing up, I could never get pants that were jeans that were long enough.
Yep.
Whereas now they're sort of catering to taller guys.
Yeah.
6'4" is not unusual now.
But that's what I mean. They just seem to take so long here to get with the program. They have, I don't know whether it's the buyers. History. They're all the blokes buying, and they've always bought a certain way, and that's the way they're going to. But they need to adjust. They need to adjust to the way the population is growing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my grumble of the week, and I just think it's something that they need to look at.
You need to be dressed, and you need to be safe.
That's right.
And the big fellas count too. All right.
And there's a lot of
I was
stuff.
riding a t-shirt.
There's a lot of guys buying online, and they're complaining about why are people shopping online. That's the very reason, because it's easier.
It is easier. Yeah.
That's anyway. That's my grumble. What else we got?
Well, our product review will be a little different today.
Yes.
Because it's time we got in touch with our feminine side, mate. So on the count of 3, 1, 2.
Okay, hi guys. Today we're going to talk about tradie boots. Now these are a great alternative to motorbike boots, right? They wear well and have, I've had mine for more than 5 years, and as you can see, they've still got quite a lot of sole and that in them. Originally I bought these for Sturgis, and while we're over in Sturgis, I wore these and nothing else for the whole 8 days because they were just so comfortable to walk around in. They're a really good advert for comfort because tradies wear them all day, every day, so that you know that they are comfortable. They have great ankle support. They're great for your heel and your foot. They're steel capped, so you've got that protection as well. They're also lightweight and waterproof, which is another good thing that you need. They have a side zip, which I think is a must because they're easy to put on and take off. There's lots of designs now, lots of colours, because so many women now are getting into the tradie industry, so you're now getting lots of choice as well. So you don't have to go with black, you can have purple or pink or whatever colour that you want to wear. They're very affordable and they always seem to be on special, so look out for when they are on special. because you can get some really good deals on tradie boots. So girls, if you haven't given this a go, trust me, you won't be disappointed because they are very comfortable, and I wear mine a lot because Michael and I go on a lot of rides and we do like to check out areas and that, so we are doing a lot of walking and they are very, very comfortable.
I took Lisa's advice and I must agree, I love my tradie boots now.
Yes, so they are worthwhile giving a go. Does that sound all right?
Now it's my turn. Okay, I've got 3 things that I don't leave home without when we travel. Not makeup, because I don't wear makeup. Okay, first thing is I've got a little portable light that I plug in to a PowerPoint, a little night light. So I usually put that in the bathroom. So when I get up in the middle of the night, which I get up about, I don't know how many times, I can find my way there. Number 2, I've got, talking about bathrooms, a toilet app on my phone. It helps you find all the toilets, whatever your area are in, it automatically goes to the toilet, shows you all the toilets. And it's actually a VicGov one, a VicGov toilet app. I've got to show you what it looks like. Well, we'll put up the thing up here somewhere, but that's a must. And you click on the actual toilet and it'll give you the directions on how to get there and how many minutes away you are. So when you're on the bike and you think, oh, I need to go, just look at your app and there you go. And the third final thing is my noodle box. I always keep that just in case we can't find anywhere to eat. Because as you all know, I love my food. And that's my 3 things I never leave.
Can I just say that this here will be in this bag for the next 40 years of our life and never get touched. I'm just saying.
It does. I eat it all the time. It's just that I get new ones all the time.
Well, that's banned for you now, Paul.
Yeah. And that's what my makeup bag's for.
So Aymen, in regards to footwear and that, Sarah, your wife, occasionally will get on the bike with you. Has she looked at...
She's got tradie boots.
She has tradie
Yep,
boots. Oh,
that's what she wears, yeah. And I have worn I think I had a pair of steel blue work boots that seem to last forever.
Yeah, mine is still blue.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool, yeah.
yeah.
So I used to wear them, and I've got a pair of, I think they're Style Martin boots, which are like proper motorbike boots, which I usually wear now.
And my question is, what's one thing you don't leave home without when you're going on your bike?
Phone, GoPro. I've usually got, because I've got saddlebags, I throw all sorts of useless things in there. Because I've always got wet weather gear in the saddlebags. Yeah,
a must.
That's one of the reasons I've got a street glide, because the further you go, the more stuff you need.
More
it gets
yeah.
hot, gets cold, blah blah blah. So that's the
beautiful.
most common thing.
Very good.
Okay, guys, so that's our products for the week. I hope you enjoyed that.
So back to the boys.
Rightio, thanks girls, that was really good. Aymen, thanks for putting up with those 2 for the period of time. What have we got next, Whitey?
Mate, now, you remember last episode?
Yes.
And we had, 2 episodes ago, we had Annie with us.
Yes.
And I thought you asked her, well, quite frankly, a pretty inappropriate question. Well, to show that...
Had to be asked.
Well, it did have to be asked, but to show that we are inclusive of everybody here at Hogs, Cogs and to Aussie Flogs, I'd just like to say, Aymen, can I have a root?
Whitey, I'm going to give you one. but not the one, not what you're thinking.
No.
Because you want a route, don't you?
I want a route,
You want
yes.
a route, yeah.
Yes.
Right, well...
They call it Route 66, it's not Route 66.
That's exactly right.
Well,
sick-minded people out there, go on.
From my place, Arthur's Seat is one of my favourite rides, and then back through Red Hill. Very easy to get to.
If you don't know Arthur's Seat, just a shameless plug, the Harley couple, we did a video on
That's right, yeah.
Arthur's Seat, and it is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun, yeah. And very close to my house, so, well, not that close, but close enough to make it doable pretty much any day. Yeah, so I love that.
Cool.
So where do you go? So that goes up. That's that real twisty road up the top of the
To the top of the mountain.
and then you head down towards
Red Hill.
Is it past the Pig and Whistle? You go past the Pig and Whistle, and head down towards Red Hill, and you can end up. Is it Flinders? You can end up there too.
There's millions of rides around there. Yeah,
It is a beautiful part of the country too. By the way, it's just
sensational.
And we did that ride not that long ago ourselves.
Yeah,
So you can drop down from the once you've done Arthur's Seat, and then you've gone down and back up again because one trip up and down Arthur's Seat is never
5 or
enough.
6, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, you just got to do a sighting lap first at least,
Yeah.
and then you can at the top you can head off down past the car museum there, down past the Pig and Whistle, drop down towards Flinders. Flinders is an absolutely sensational location, isn't it?
Yep.
To stop for lunch, and you can actually come via a different way all the way back too. So, what about a little bit further from home, mate?
I usually go up through Dandenong and Berwick, and
Yep.
then the roads start getting windy. You can go up towards Cockatoo and around the back towards Newgie and that. And again, that's a great ride.
Yeah, well, for those of us that do live in the southeastern suburbs, there's just a myriad of roads through the Dandenongs, isn't there? I mean, I live 7 minutes from the Dandenongs, mate. So for me, if I, when I was working, when I finished work, 7 minutes after finishing work, I can be up the Burwood Highway, up the back end of Belgrave, and bang.
Well, I'm further away, but I go the back way.
Yeah. So the Dandenongs are just sensational, mate.
They are.
Absolutely love
As
them.
long as there's no traffic.
Well, yeah, you go there on a weekend, forget it. There's no point.
you don't want to do it on the weekend. You're far better off to do it midweek.
No.
Much better.
Tea break. Where did that come from?
It's all happening here, I tell you. So what else we got on?
Mate, so that's ride rep. Now, and this is one I think you can help us out with this week, Paul, because you took us somewhere the other week, and a biker-friendly venue of the week.
Yeah, there's a cracker in Greendale called the Greendale Pub. It is an absolutely sensational bloody venue. It's really always bikes there. It's a really good ride out that way. You can head out sort of past Milan Way, and then you take a right-hand turn at the Greendale Road there. You've also got, you can keep going through Trentham. You can scoot around to Dalesford if you want to. It's just a really nice ride. But the Greendale Pub is an absolute cracker. Food's great. Great ambience. Great little
the atmosphere is brilliant there, isn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere is your quintessential Aussie pub. Really friendly people. Food is sensational, really good. The outdoor area, they have bands there on I think Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday over. They have bands as well. There's always some bikes pulling in there.
Always a heap of bikes out the front.
Yeah.
But don't just go inside. Go and take a look out the back because they've got that entertainment area out
there.
Yeah,
and not only that, in winter it's great to go there in winter time because they've got a roaring fire going. Yeah. The locals are always there. They're always good for a chat. Last time we were there was a whole bunch of blokes there on bikes again, having a blast. Yeah. You'll generally get guys there on Harley, sports bikes. You'll get dirt bike riders because you've got lots of area up there. You've got the Wombat State Forest just behind you, so there's blokes go up there for the weekend doing a bit of dirt bike riding. They come down, have a meal at the pub. We had what do we have? We had I think Elaine had like a fish. I think we had I think I had a steak. No, calamari. We had calamari. All good prices. Beers nice and cold. Plenty of different beers on tap. The drinks are always cold. Staff are fantastically friendly, and I think it's new people took over not that long ago, and they're really trying hard to really make a good go of it. Unfortunately, they got stuck during COVID. I think they bought it just at that time, but really nice people, and we'll be going back up there. They've actually asked us to come up there and do a proper review, which I'll do on the Roadshow channel. But if you're out that way, great spot. Lots of good riding, plenty of good roads. It's just a really good venue to go to, and it's not far from Melbourne. I think it's about 40 minutes. Yeah, it's not far at all.
Yeah, no, mate. It was the day you took us up there. It was very impressive because, and this is what we want to get, and we want you guys as the viewers to put down in the comments. These places that actually look after bikers.
Yep.
These places that actually want us to go and visit them, not the ones that make you look like you feel like you're the
redheaded stepchild.
That's the one.
Yep.
I hate it when you're a redheaded stepchild. So yeah, if you've got any other places that that you think we could head to, don't have to be in Victoria. If there's somewhere else, cool, let us know, and we'll do a bit of research, and we might be able to get a travelling reporter to zip down and have a look for us, and
why not?
See if we can't show some of the these places that are actually supporting our lifestyle.
And there's lots of them out there, but. Like what he said, put them down in the comments. We're happy to go. If we haven't been there, happy to go check them out. It gives me another reason to get on the bike and ride.
It's just another excuse to get out there. Okay. All right. So, last thing on the agenda, just a reminder for the competition. I know we said we were going to draw it this week, but we're still waiting on a couple of entries hopefully coming in. So, it will definitely be drawn next fortnight.
Yep.
All right, and the winner of that. So all you have to do is shoot us a picture of your man cave, which is either motorcycle or motorsport related, or something in your man cave that's motorsport related or motorcycle related, just something cool. But basically, as I said, the idea is I can find all these really good ideas and then I can steal them for mine. So that works. Because as I showed Aymen this morning, we've started work on
He needs help.
Eh? Well,
He needs some ideas.
I always need ideas, mate. It doesn't hurt. All right, last thing today is local rallies, runs and events.
Yep.
So starting off 21st, 23rd of April, this weekend, we've got the Anzac Day Rumble down in Bendigo, Victoria. Now, I don't know an awful lot about it, but from the flyer here, it tells me they've got live bands, on-site camping. You can take a caravan if you like. I'm not sure how you're going to hook that up to the bike, but good luck if you can. They're going to have plenty of food and a barbecue going, and they've got a contest for the best bike, President's Choice, most kilometres travelled, and the obligatory burnout competition. So that's being held by the Veterans Motorcycle Club Central Victorian chapter. So good luck with that one, fellas. And that's being held at, what's the name of the reserve? It doesn't actually have the actual location. But if you go to as I said, go to the Rallies, Runs and Events page, and there's details there. Okay. The same weekend, on the 22nd of April, you're going to find me and Paul and the troop at the Rubber Glen Rumble. Well, Paul, tell them about the Rubber Glen Rumble, mate, because we're going to have a ball there this year.
The Rubber Glen Rumble is a fantastic weekend. It's put on a lot of the organisers by Nick Horton from Caffeine and Machine. We'll actually put a bit of a video up here now, just so you can see what it's all about. So we're here with Nick from Caffeine and Machine, who runs the Rutherglen Rumble.
That's
so we've got another year on this year.
Yeah. So last year blew us out of the water. This year's just going to blow the boat and all, we hope. So 22nd of April, cars, trucks, bikes. There's also, we're going to do a tattoo show this year, and there's prize money, trophies as good as last year. Grim Industries has got on board again.
Yep.
So bring everything, get on board. Also, if you email us at rutherglenrumble@gmail, we can actually send you out an entry form. If you actually talk to the caravan park, tell them you want to enter, we'll give you a non-powered camping site for free.
Okay, how good's that?
Hey, that's pretty good. Are you going to have the same setup this year with the shed with the bikes in it?
We'll have the same setup this year. We'll also have so far there's about 17 stall holders coming. Yep. We've got the Rod Scrod, we've got Engine Master coming. I think a couple of other bike shops are talking about maybe coming out this year, getting involved with us. So we just want to grow this to be something big for the region. It's not just Rutherglen, but the idea is last year we raised over 50 grand for the flood victims. This year what we're going to do is we're going to put the money towards a mental health fund for this region. So what the idea of it is that people will actually take it, like counselling's free.
Yep.
But when you need psychology or other appointments like that, they're 5, 6, sometimes 380. So what we're going to do, we'll work with Gateway Health like we did last year. We saved 7 lives and 15 families got help. So what we're going to do is we'll pay the gap. So Medicare will pay so much, and then there'll be a fund, and they'll go through Gateway Health, and they'll get the gap paid. So then we can get them some free help.
How good is that? I mean, really, what we end up with here is the community helping itself, and this is bikers helping the community, and other car nuts helping the community. And you know what? Because if we wait for the government to bloody do it, we'll wait forever, won't we?
What government?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
22nd of April.
This
If
year,
you've not got anything on, Saturday 22nd of April, get your butts up to Rubber Glen, because the Rubber Glen Rumble, I was here last year, mate, absolutely sensational.
it blew us out of the
It was
water.
brilliant.
And we've got
Absolutely
plenty of
brilliant.
food this year because
Awesome.
we're planning on a lot of people.
Guys, we'll all be here as well. We're coming up for the whole weekend. It'll be a great thing to catch up with all you guys. You can come and say hello. We'll be wrapped to talk to you. I'll be handing out stickers, a bit of merch, and that'll be handed out as well. So another reason to come along and have a look. But mate, just a credit to you. Fantastic.
Credit to the community.
Yeah, it is.
So and everybody that joins. Like I've always said, we don't have a show if you guys don't build your bikes, your trucks, your cars. So without you guys,
100%.
we don't have a show. So
Yep.
I'm not spruiking that. You know, we've created this. You guys, we've just given you the place to show it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's a top weekend.
Yep. 100%, guys. So get on down. 22nd of April. Get up here and book early because there's going to be trying to get accommodation in.
3
but-
bands playing, so it's going to be full on this year. And like I said, tattoo show. The best tattoo will win. Donna from the Queen of Hearts will actually donate a $1,500 all-day session. So that's a big prize money, guys. Like, that's big prize money.
Just isn't it, how do I sort of...
Hey, I'm not a judge, so that's the best bit.
No point.
That's it. But we've also got some wicked sponsors like Boost Transport, Ron Finnemore's, a lot of the locals again have jumped on board. So, you know, and what you guys do, you know, it's the support you're giving us. So this will be awesome.
So guys, make sure, get on the Rutherglen Rumble, and make sure when you're here, jump in and see Nick at Cafe the Machine. Get yourself a toasty or a pie or a pasty
See the
or
girls,
something.
not
See the
me,
girls.
I can't cook.
I just had the pasty, by the way. It's one of the nicest pasties I've ever had.
Yep, that's Lenny's
10%.
recipe.
Well, Lenny, I'll shake that man's hand. That was bloody lovely.
Yeah.
I'm about to go and eat my toasty, so I'm out of here. See you later. See you then.
Thanks,
22nd
take
of
care.
April.
See you there.
So a great weekend. Motorbikes, cars, trucks, all that sorts of stuff. Plenty of prizes, and it's just another reason to get out there and get it. It's a beautiful region to Rutherglen.
Yeah,
You've got wineries.
there's
and
so
all sorts
many
of
good
stuff.
little spots
I
up
know
there,
that
mate.
we're going to do a fair bit of exploring while we're up there because I generally go to Rutherglen and I go to see Nick and then I don't sort of do anything else. The other thing we might do is head out to Chiltern again and have another look at Gordon's collection out there. There's a beautiful museum which we put in the last episode. If you want to tee
I
up.
want to see possibly the best garage mobilia collection. I'd say it'd be one of the best in Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding. Nip back to our last episode.
Yeah, you'd be able to see it.
Because
Yeah, and if you want to do it, put it. Send us a message in the comments or send us an email at Cogs 2 Aussie Flogs at gmail.com and we'll try and hook you up. Gordon's a bit elderly and a little bit frail, so we don't want to just send anybody out there because he's.
Well, we might have to wait till Hoggy's feeling a bit better. And just a shout out to Hoggy, mate, who's in hospital at the moment. He's had some serious neck work done.
Hope
You're feeling a lot better, Hoggy.
Yep. But Rutherglen Rumble. If you haven't been, get up there. It's a great
day out.
Great day out.
Yeah,
It's a
good
ripper.
day out. And there's so much to see and do in Rutherglen. And they've got not only is Caffeine Machine a sensational little venue, mate. They've got that baker up about 4 doors, which they queue down the street and they come from all over the state. I don't know what it's called, but
yeah, it's a ripper.
Absolutely.
I know Tex, if you're watching, I know Tex always reminds me to go there.
Yeah.
If I find out beforehand, we'll put a link down in the description anyway. But it's a ripper weekend.
So that'll be a good one, mate. Now, 22nd of April, also the same day, out at in Mildura. For those up in the north, we've got this Scally Rally Dice Run. That's run by the Scallywag Social Motorcycle Club of Mildura. $25 a head. They got a bike show there as well. So they've got the People's Choice bike, People's Choice car, best bagger, best jack bike, best vintage bike, and best European bike. So that's being held. They're meeting at the car park at 7th Street, Mildura, behind the Ampol service station. So if you're not getting along to the Rutherglen Rumble and you're up Mildura way, I could think of a worse way to spend a day, mate, than going on a nice little dice run. That'd be cool. Okay, so also on the same day we have the Ride for Destiny, which is a ride from Hamilton to Portland.
Oh, that'd be a nice ride.
That would be a nice ride, wouldn't it? Now, there's a it's a fundraiser because Destiny Anderson is a 45-year-old single mother and she's battling an aggressive stage 3 cancer. So our thoughts go out to her and her family. And that is, registration is opposite McDonald's in Hamilton at 9am and with kickstands up at 10:30. So if you're in the west of the state, to me, that sounds like a bloody good one to get along to. It's $20 for cars and $25 for cars and $20 for bikes. So even if it's a shit day, pull the car out and go on that one, I'd suggest, and I wouldn't suggest that very often. So good luck with the fundraising for that one. And Anzac Day service on the 25th of April. The Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Club down at Longwarry, 199 Princess Highway, Longwarry, they're hosting the Anzac Day service and gunfire breakfast, and for people that have been there before, I've heard that that's a tremendous morning out, and so that kicks off at 6am though.
If you haven't been to a dawn service, wherever it is,
why not?
Get along there and do it, because it's actually awe-inspiring.
And the Vietnam veterans apparently do it with some style.
Yep.
The Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Club. So 30th of April, and I think this is one that I know you and me are going to, Aymen.
Oh, what's that?
The Bikes on the Hill Free.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, so it's a Bikes on the Hill Free motorcycle show. This year it's being run at Hughes Automotive at 117 Highbury Road in Burwood. And it sounds like they've got plenty of older bikes there, you know, your Evos, your Shovels, your Pans. So
Last time I went, it was fantastic.
you might be going about. I thought someone might.
A lot of choppers,
a lot of choppers and that sort of thing. So I've actually got some bike posters up on the wall at home, and one of them was Bikes on the Hill.
Yep.
And I went, okay, well, it must have been the first one. And I grabbed it because it looked really cool. So I'm looking forward to getting along there and seeing what's out. So that's in Burwood, 117 Highbury Road, Burwood, on the 30th of April, which I think, I'm not sure what day of the week that is.
Sunday?
I think it might be 30th of April. Anyway, have a look on your calendar. You're big boys and girls, you can do that.
Yeah, I think it's a Sunday.
So that's it. That's it for the rally runs and events updates. If there's anything more you want to know in relation to any of those, just jump on the rallies, runs and events page. And I got a couple this week that people go, well, can you tell me where it's leaving from? Can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? I can only tell you what's on the flyer on the rallies, runs and events page. All right. As long as there's a phone number there for an organiser who's actually organising it, not just me who's putting up the flyer, that's where I'll leave it. If there's not enough information on the flyer and no phone number, then I'll contact the organiser and get the further details, but that very rarely happens.
Can I just say something to all the organisers out there? I know the main thing you got to put on these flyers is the address, right?
Helpful.
Because it just helps Whitey no end. So where is it? That would be the first thing I would ask, is where it is. So you got to have that stuff. You got to have where you're leaving from, the time, a contact number. They're the main three things. Everything else after that is just fluff, right? You can put it all in. But yeah, the heading of the event, where it's leaving from, what time, and a contact number. And after that, the rest of it, obviously the date. And after that, the rest doesn't matter. But just if you don't put an address on there, it makes it very hard to...
I can add to that.
Yeah.
If you want more people to go, add a bit more detail.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading these flyers all the time thinking, oh, it's a long ride. What have they got up there?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So even in the comments on Whitey's page, put more detail.
Yeah. So jump up on the Victorian Rallies, Runs and Events page. As I said, I'll put your flyer up as soon as I find it. Better still, send it to me through the page, and you can even put it up yourself. I just ask that, if you're going to put it up yourself, it's simple. Just put the date first, what it is, and the location, and then any details you want, and then a picture of the flyer. And it just makes it so much easier for people planning. Some people are planning weeks and weeks ahead. If you're going to put that much effort into organising an event, just put a little bit of thought into the advertising, because you are competing against, as you can see, you're competing against a lot of other events. So
100%.
That's it. Aymen, thank you for coming along.
My pleasure, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We are very impressed with Old Not Dead. It gives us all a bit of hope, and it certainly makes us all have a little bit of thought about a few different things, whether it be health or what we're doing with ourselves. So,
well, thanks for having me on the show.
So if you were going to leave with one piece of advice for everyone, what would it be? What would that one piece of advice be?
Oh, gee, that's a difficult one. Ride your motorbike, have fun.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about health, just relax about it, have fun, just do the best you can. Don't stress about it.
100%. Well, that's it from me.
That's it from me, and that's it from...
Aymen.
Oh, you forgot my name, guys. Oh.
And that's it from Hogs
Cogs.
and 3 Aussie Flogs. Catch you next time, guys.
Ciao.